Hey everybody, welcome to SEC Weekly. Come at you guys with a Week 11 preview here coming soon when I get Haden on the phone. I apologize guys for Week 10. I just had a rough week. Had a lot of stuff that I had to do, a lot of stuff that just kind of came up last minute. Was not able to do any video for last week. But the Georgia and Florida game was awesome. Ended up being a touchdown victory for Georgia, and it was a great game. And just what you would expect it to be. I think the line was 6.5 Georgia, and it was a 7-point game. So everyone kind of expected a close one. So it was ended up being a close one. But that was a great game. It was a great week of football. But anyway, we're going to get into this at Week 11. I'm excited to do it. So let me get Haden on here, and we'll get cracking. Hello, Haden Hartgrove.
What's up?
You all right, man? You sound tired.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Well, buddy, I just want you guys to know, I think the last week, well, this weekend was the first time I had seen Haden, actually talk to him in person in a while. And
since we started this, that's the first time
I
we've
know.
seen each other.
I know.
Great.
Gotten a lot taller. Since the last time I saw him.
Hey.
But that's a good thing, though, right?
Yeah. And better
anyway,
basketball. And better.
Yeah, and better basketball. That's what we were doing. We were playing basketball. So my fat self has to get out and do that every once in a while, or I'm going to end up being 400 pounds. Anyway.
Yeah, guys, Ty can play. Guys, Ty can play some basketball, if you don't know.
All 290 of me can play basketball. I used to be able to play. I used to be able to play a lot longer, but now I'm down to about 2 games, and you can just count me out. Anyway, I told the guys last week. I don't know, really what I didn't really know what to expect with some of the stuff that came up last week. I just wasn't able to to do a whole lot of videos. I told them, I apologize, and I told them that you had asked me to do them, and I just was like, man, I just can't. Like, some stuff came up, with family, and my grandfather retired from the 911 here in Knoxville, and he had a huge party for him one night, and it was just like spur of the moment. But we're back for Week 11, and we're gonna get this thing cranked back up to these last couple weeks of football. So anyway, let's get this thing going, brother.
All right, guys. We only got 4 games this week. Coming in at number 4, we got Appalachian State at South Carolina. Number 3, we got Tennessee going on the road to Kentucky. Number 2, we got Missouri going on the road to Georgia. And then the game of the year, LSU at Alabama. I can't wait to talk about it. But let's jump into it. Ty, give us your thoughts on Appalachian State at South Carolina.
Well, Appalachian State, I think, man, last week they lost to Georgia Southern. And I think Appalachian State lost to Georgia Southern because they were looking ahead to this game. Us here in the Southeastern Conference, we look at South Carolina and think, oh, yeah, it's South Carolina. They're an average SEC team at best and whatever. People in Appalachian State, this is the game of the year for them. If you can go to an SEC school and beat them on an undefeated season, it makes it, it makes their year. Absolutely makes their year. And granted, they lost to Georgia Southern, but trust me, they still want this win, and they want it even worse now. And I'm telling you guys right now, Appalachian State is a good football team. Don't let what happened last week, Georgia Southern, fool you. Georgia Southern runs that triple option offense, which I love. And we've seen teams that are not as talented as other teams beat them by running that offense, a.k.a. Army in Oklahoma, Georgia Southern and Alabama. You just never know. You never know what can happen with that offense. But anyway, man, I think right now South Carolina is looking for a reason to fire Muschamp. I think they're waiting for a bad loss to fire Muschamp. and this could be that bad loss. I don't care what year South Carolina's having. I'm sorry, not South Carolina. I don't care what year Appalachian State's having. A game against South Carolina and App State, South Carolina is supposed to win that game. Whether they're 8-0, whether they're 7-1, whether they're 1-6, you're supposed to beat them every time you play them. And once this week App State beats them, which they will beat them, I feel like Muschamp is his seat is going to go from pretty warm to hot, and
he ain't gonna be able to sit on it.
No, I don't think he's going to be lasting there, you know. And the thing about Muschamp is, man, I don't know how many more schools he wants to go to in the SEC. You know, he's running out of schools. So, I just think this is going to be it for him. I think it's going to be it for Muschamp in South Carolina. You know, they just lost too many games. Now, going into this year, I think South Carolina could have lost 4 or 5 games this year. Probably more like 4. But if they were all the good teams, man, like I would have understood it more. But they've lost to some just bad teams. And they're going to lose to another FBS, another Group of 5 team this weekend, I think. So anyway, give me the Mountaineers this weekend, and I'm going to take Appalachian State by let's go touchdown. I think they beat them by a touchdown. I'm going to say somewhere around the ballpark of 28-21.
All right. Yeah. Guys, Appalachian State is a very quality football team. And like I said, they're coming off a loss against Georgia State last week. Thursday night game. I think it was on Halloween. I don't know. It just, they were looking ahead to this game because, when these Group of 5 teams get a chance, especially when they know that they really have a legit shot coming in and winning against an SEC team, insert BYU, Tennessee, guys, these teams come to play. And when they come in and win, it never shocks me because you see the way BYU acted when they beat Tennessee in week 2. They thought they won the Super Bowl. I mean, they honestly thought they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think that, or I don't know what week that was, but they're led by Zach Thomas, their quarterback. He's a pretty solid quarterback, and he takes care of the football. He's thrown 14 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions this year. South Carolina on the other side of this, they were just very inconsistent all year. You don't know who's going to show up for South Carolina, and I think that this Appalachian State team is more talented than South Carolina. I'm taking Appalachian State in this game 24-20.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I just, man, South Carolina, with as bad a year as they've had to win these 50-50 games or 60-40 games, and they just hadn't won them. So I just don't see it changing now, especially with Muschamp on the hot seat. So anyway, what's next, buddy?
Tennessee at Kentucky, and I'll go ahead and start us off on this game. Brian Mallard should play this game, but honestly, who knows? He's progressed each week. He was in shoulder pads for the game against South Carolina. He went through warm-ups against UAB. Now I think it's got to be time now for him to get back in there and play. This is a huge game for Tennessee. And Brian Mauer's a huge piece of Tennessee's offense. But at the same time, who knows who Tennessee's going to roll out there at quarterback. They always open up with Strout now, which the past 2 weeks they've done, which doesn't make any sense to me. After one possession, then they go with Garantano. It's just so odd to me why they can't settle on one guy right now. Now, with Mauer being hurt, they just cannot pick between Strout and Garantano. And there's a rumor going around that I'm hearing, guys, that this is – now, I don't know if I should bring this up, but Garantano has something against the coaching staff. This is clearly a rumor, this is what people are saying. Garantano has something against the coaching staff to where if they don't play him, he's going to come out with something. That is a rumor going around. I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I'm hearing. Back to the game. Tennessee and Kentucky, both teams trying to fight for bowl games. And this one right here is huge for both squads. And I think Pruitt's going to have his defense ready to play against Kentucky. He always does good against one-dimensional teams, and Kentucky is a line it up, and it is a Bowden. It is run with him every play. They're barely going to pass it. For that reason, I think Tennessee's going to get this win. The only thing that scares me about this game is Kentucky's going to come off a bye week. They've had 2 weeks now to prepare for Tennessee, and they're coming in with a sour taste after last year's loss to Tennessee. But I'm still going to take Tennessee in this one, 20-14.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't see any way Kentucky's scoring 14 points. I just don't. I think one aspect of Jeremy Pruitt that people underestimate is when you have a team come in that is not used to running the option, not used to running a straight run or straight pass offense, and they're still trying to figure it out somewhat like Kentucky is right now, you're in for a rough night against Jeremy Pruitt. He just does not allow teams to run all over him. He doesn't allow teams to just throw all night on him. You have got to be balanced if you plan on beating Jeremy Pruitt. I'm not saying you have to be a great football team to beat Jeremy Pruitt, but you have to be balanced to beat him, and they're not right now. And it's not really Kentucky's fault. They just don't have a healthy roster right now to be a balanced team. So I don't see them scoring more than a touchdown. I'll give them a touchdown, but I think this game might get ugly. If Maurer plays this game and plays to his potential and his talent, which him being sidelined for so long, man, he's going to be fired up and ready to go. And I expect him to start this game. I really do. I'm not seeing anything from Shrout that would warrant him being a starter. And Garantano has been playing better of late, but he's had a surgery on a wrist. So I don't see how you could start anybody but Maurer this game, honestly. And I think that was the plan all along, to sit Maurer one more game against a bad UAB team, allow him to rest up and bring him in against their last 3 games of the season. However, at the end of this year, even if Brian Maurer starts these last 3 games, and let's just say he wins these last 3 games, which would be awesome, I don't think it's set in stone right now that he's the guy next year. And I'm saying that because there's not been enough consistency from the quarterback position to give him that edge. And I'm not saying – I think Brian Maurer is the best option right now as far as quarterback play. But, I mean, if you're a quarterback coming into UT, a.k.a. Harrison Bailey, and you think that you don't have a chance to start next year, you are sadly mistaken. You absolutely have a chance to start next year. Anyway, I'm going above and beyond here. As far as this game goes, man, I see Tennessee rolling in this one. I like the Vols 24-7. And I think Tennessee finishes this year 6-6. I think they lose to Missouri next week, and then they go and beat Vanderbilt. But we'll get to that when I get there. But I just want little sneak peek from what's coming from Old Ty here.
Yeah.
But that's what I got for this week, man.
All right. Let's move on.
Hang on. Before we move on, what was it that you said about Garantano again?
Okay. So there's this rumor going around that I heard on the Tony Basilio show. Now, this is what was said. Garantano has something against the coaching staff. They've done something to him. He has something out there. And if they don't play him, he's going to come out with it and tell everybody about it and get Tennessee's coaches in some junk. That's the rumor going around right now. Like I said, I don't know if that's true. That's just something that somebody could have made up because they're ticked off that they're playing Garantano. I don't know, but that's the rumor going around.
Where's the reference for that, man? Like, that might be true. I'm not saying it's not true, but I mean, that just seems like hearsay, honestly.
I mean, my theory on it is I think that's a fan. Somebody's making something stupid up because there's just so many people.
You got to realize, man, he's already lost his spot. Like,
yeah.
If that was the case, you lose your spot and then have to watch other guys play for weeks now. You know, if that was the case, it would have came out way before now.
Yeah.
Unless it just happened this past week. Which I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like if that was the truth, it would have had to have came out a lot earlier.
Yeah, he sat and watched Mauer for how many? I mean, and I just don't.
Well,
that's a little far-fetched for me. But
say what you want about Garantano. I think he's regressed this year, which, you know, that's definitely not a good thing at all not for just for Garantano, but for anybody. However, man, I think he's too good of a guy. I think he's too tough of a competitor to have something like that happen. You know, that just shows weakness, I think. And if you ask Garantano right now, I bet he would tell you the same thing, man. I've just not played well this season. I mean, if you ask him that and he says anything like, well, you know, I've actually played pretty well, they're not giving me a shot. No. And I don't think he would say that, honestly. But anyway, let's move on, man.
Yeah. Go ahead and start us with Missouri going on the road to Georgia.
Buddy, Missouri is the most up and down, inconsistent, don't know what they're going to do team of this entire season. You know, and that being said, they're the hardest team to predict. You know?
Yeah.
So
it's oof.
I just think that it's really tough to say that Missouri's going to go out there and give them a game, and I think Georgia's coming off of a huge win, and that win is going to boost them all the way to the SEC title game. I don't see anybody else beating them. And while I'm on it, I want to give a few claps here to the Georgia Bulldogs. I've been hard on them all year, and I know you have too. But here's the biggest thing. Say what you want to about Georgia's offense, say what you want to about Jake Fromm. You show up in a big game and win that game, you know.
That goes the wayside.
Yeah, you can't say a whole lot about it. You know, like if they squeak out 6, 5, 6, 7 point win games all year long and end up playing well against a good team and beating them, you know, it'll shut the haters up. It'll shut me up. So Jake Fromm showed up for this game, and they played well enough to win. And I think, you know, you look at the score and you think, well, dang, man, I mean, Florida was in it. But if you watch that whole game from the first snap to the last snap, it was like Georgia had control of that game the whole way. I mean, I don't think there was ever a time, maybe once or twice in the first half. But as far as like the whole game considered, I mean, I thought Georgia had it in the bag the whole game. But you know, anyway, as far as this game goes, I think Missouri's done. I think Missouri. I think they have realized now that they're really not in the hunt anymore for a SEC title game, which I don't think they could have gone anyway because of their bowl ban. I don't know if that is included in championship games. I'm sure it is, But it's over for them. It's over for them. Because I know whenever you have a band like this, man, and you go through a season, your only goal is to win every game. And once you start losing to bad teams like Kentucky beating you by 22 with 65 yards through the air, that's the thing. That's the thing that worries me about this game the most. Okay, and I want you to answer this. Where is Georgia's bread buttered?
Run the ball
on the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And Kentucky ran all over Missouri.
With the receiver, not DeAndre Swift, a receiver.
Yeah. So I just think that Georgia knows that going in. And this is the first game I'm going to tell Georgia. So Kirby Smart, I know you're listening. I know you tune in every week. I want you to do what you do best this week. Don't throw the ball. Don't overthink it. Just run it down their throats. I think that's how you beat Missouri. I think their defensive line is where they're really weak. So I think Georgia is going to put on the Georgia hat and say, all right, we're going to do what we do best. We're going to run the football downhill, and they're going to do it and wear them out. And I'm thinking about a 21-10 win over Missouri, Georgia.
All right, I like where your head is. Before I start on this game, I had this little thought in the shower, something that hit me. And Ty, you can tell me if this ain't true or not, but this is what I thought. Before Tua Tagovailoa came along, these Alabama teams with Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, they have looked identical to Georgia this year. The defenses were dominant. I'm going to name off a few quarterbacks here for you. See if you can recall the names. And people listen, see if you can recall these names. Jake Coker, A.J. McCarron. Those guys didn't light it up downfield. They didn't. It was kind of, make the throws they had to make and give the ball to your alien running backs. And that's what Jake Fromm's done all year until the Florida game. He looked very good. But Georgia fans, like Ty said, the passing game is going back in the closet for this game. Missouri showed they can't stop a cold. I mean, it was pathetic to watch Kentucky run all over them. Now we got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. I just don't think that Missouri's going to be able to handle them. And after losing the past two games, they've lost to Vanderbilt and Kentucky. I mean, that's pathetic. The only thing that worries me in this game is Georgia might be looking ahead to Auburn. But what's Auburn a threat against a good defense? I mean, Bo Nix is going to look like a freshman in high school out there trying to play against an Auburn defense. But we'll get to that game when we get there. I'm going to take Georgia 34-14. Kirby Smart is going to let Swift run every freaking play down their throat, go home, light a cigar, and sit back and watch football Saturday night. It's that simple.
I like it.
Let's move on. Ty, I'm famous for closing it out. So you're going to get the start here on Alabama and LSU.
Okay. Alabama, LSU. Goodness. I've been looking forward to this game for quite a while. I don't even really know where to start. I actually have a side bet on this game with a friend from work. And I just, man, here's the thing about this game. You look at two different teams in any game, and you say, okay, well, this team is good at this, and this team is bad at this, and this team is good at that and bad at that. And you can almost find an edge somewhere for one team. Whether, like Georgia, their edge is going to be on the ground against Missouri. When it comes to LSU, Alabama, though, man, I'm serious when I tell you, you are looking at the exact same teams. The exact same teams. I think you have two above, a little bit above average I could say above average. Above average defenses, and you're looking at two absolutely explosive offenses. And, man, it's just like both teams have NFL caliber quarterbacks. You know, both teams, I think, are at a point where they can play with anybody. I think both teams have a solid, not great, but solid running back in Najee Harris and Edwards-Helaire. You know, it's just like this game should be a 1-point spread. It really should. And I think it's a 6-point spread for lost my train of thought. Alabama.
Yeah.
So as far as betting goes, if you're going to bet on this game, take LSU in the points. Because even if LSU loses this game, I don't see it by being more than 6. I just don't. But man, I'm taking LSU, and I'm taking LSU in a close one. And I think this is going to be a lot of points scored this game. I tell you the biggest reason I'm taking LSU. I don't like the fact that the first team Tua is going to be seeing when he comes back from an injury is the biggest game of his career. You know, I understand that he's probably been preparing for this game, and I get that. But it's hard to sit out 2 weeks, which I think he's been out 2 weeks now, maybe 1 week. I can't remember. But the next time you get handed a football, you're in the biggest game of your career, of your season. Your season's on the line, probably. I mean, it's going to be rough. And Joe Burrow has played every week, so I think that's going to be an edge for LSU. I think Alabama being at home gives them an edge, but I think LSU is just going to make a few more plays to win this game, and I've got LSU winning 34-31.
Okay. Let me get ready real quick. It is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. And the playoff committee really hurt my feelings last night when they bumped these teams back to 2 and 3. But guess what? That doesn't even matter, okay? It's simple now. You win this game, you're in the playoff. If you lose, more than likely you're out. Playing for the West adds on even more to this. Add on a little more. Burrow and Tua both in Heisman contention. Now, Tua might be a little bit different with the injury, but he's still in Heisman contention, Heisman talk. The winner of this game might even win the Heisman. But, oh, my gosh. Two high, potent, powerhouse offenses going at it. There's talent all over the field. Receivers for Alabama, insane. Receivers for LSU, insane. The quarterbacks could play in the NFL this Sunday. It's insane to look at these two teams. I'm getting chill bumps talking about this game. This is a game you're going to tell your grandkids about. It is going to be a shootout. Hold on. What is that? I hear something, Ty. Hold on.
You hear something?
Hold on.
How much them Bayou Bengals down there? Coach Jones back in the building. He's back here on SEC Weekly. I'm taking them Tigers 58-48 down there in the Bayou. I'm taking down there in Tuscaloosa. We're going to put on a good show down there for Mr. Trump. We're going to win this football game. We're going all the way to the college football playoffs. Go Tigers.
That's all Ed Orgeron. God bless. Did Haden leave? Oh, my gosh. Haden's gone. Okay, well, that'll do it for the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys do for us. Please tune in, guys. Continue to like, subscribe our videos. We're going somewhat up in numbers. We're 10 away from our 50 subscriber goal for this season. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and thanks for listening.